from Unique playing well. I took a look at the odds between the games. I'm putting them up on the screen here for people to see. Even though Unique are up a game, the odds are actually still pretty even for Viking to take the series. They do have a strong record. They have been playing well, so you can't count them out yet. So, you know, we might see a game 3 here.
Yeah, we've got another smoke coming out, and they're going to find Soleri here, although he's standing right next to the tower. I don't think they could fully commit onto a tier 2. It's going to be doing way too much damage this early on.
So they'll just have to get down potentially aggressive wards. Yep, slightly different spot than last time. But pretty much the same move as last game.
See, this is the one thing that's going to tilt me. I like a lot of things about this battle pass. I hate this Luna taunt. I hate it so much. It's just the noise that it makes.
Yeah, that is pretty annoying. It's like it's like you stepped on a cat's tail. And I mean, it don't sounds like
something that a 10-year-old came up with, you know? Oh man. Well, they've thrown BZZ on his own onto this top side again, at least for now. Maybe trying to get some early pickoffs happening with an aggressive tri-lane one more time. And of course, just standing down here for a little bit of vision. They've spotted out this this courier coming through with the magic stick, but Enchantress is there, just able to pick it up. So not going to be able to punish it all too hard.
And Vanscore being obnoxious, bullying Soleri, can't even get into the lane. And forced to TP forward. That's pretty much exactly what happened last game as well. So picking a playstyle and really sticking with it.
Wonder what Soleri's going to level up first. He's gone for the impetus, so wanting to pressure out Illusion. He's only got the 2 tangos and gone for quite an aggressive build with this Orb of Venom. So he's going to be punished if he shows all too much.
Yeah, this Enchantress change, which isn't particularly new anymore. It's been around for a while, but still, that lane harass is miserable for them to deal with. But with the tri-lane, that's 2 supports that Soleri has to harass out so they can split the damage between them.
Yeah, it's not like he can just spam it out, you know, he's only got 2 more essentially. He gets clipped by the boulder at the end there, and he's going to take a little bit of harass himself.
And Vanscore kind of continuing to chase. He did come to lane with 7 tangos, so he is prepared.
Oh yeah.
Well, in the mid lane, which we did not watch very much last game because of our very aggressive tri-lanes, 19 has just had some more regen brought out to him. And he's sitting 13-2 as compared to 8-0 on Boom's puck. I'm assuming early Crypt Swarm just really helping him secure those last hits.
Yeah, especially the ranged. We can see BZZ. Does he get the pull off? Yes, he does. So he's doing really well up here, despite the fact that he's had to burn through all of his regen.
And they're going to go on to the PL here, down bottom. He will doppel away, gets clipped by the boulder, and one more Lucent Beam to finish him off. Illusion could pay, but Aramis getting low and has to keep running back as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with having this Luna lineup, you know, and again, Voodoo Restoration picked up at level 2. It's good for a tri-lane, but I think just the 1 value point is the way to go. With the Luna Blessing, it just enables your team so much more, right? An extra little bit of armor, an extra little bit of damage just makes those trades so much easier.
And they are pretty much fully regened up, can look to be aggressive once again if they need to. Into this mid lane, it's really just salve trading right now. Boom looking to go for the bottle next, but 19 Teen already has his bottle. And we're approaching the 4-minute mark, but I don't know if the supports are going to be free enough to, on the side of Viking, to deny the Death Prophet her rune.
Yeah. Duracho needs to be a little bit careful. You've got this Ember Spirit rotating towards the mid lane, so could now be the time to start rolling in.
Yeah, pretty low puck. There is no orb. We just saw Boom use it. It's going to phase shift away some of the damage. Crypt Swarm and a last hit. Nice kill here for the Death Prophet. Just in time to go and pick up a rune.
That's cool. He's probably going to pay with his life for this, although actually they're turning it around.
He's got that Voodoo Restoration, the stick charges. He also has a Fairy Fire if it's off cooldown. It is not, but they trade for the Rubik.
Honestly, it's not the worst. You know, they were still able to get the good trades going on there. They got the kill mid, got a bit more experience onto Duracho, and I think Witch Doctor was actually dead when he got the kills, so he got the full experience for that as well.
Now, what I'm a little confused by is that Witch Doctor had plenty of inventory space, but did he have 2 Fairy Fires? Is that why there was a cooldown?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Because if he had had it in his backpack and swapped in, that would have been unfortunate. And Illusion going to get PL's Courier, so PL has to wait on a Wraithband for a little bit now.
You can see all of Unique's heroes. They've made a wall in front of this bounty rune, so not only are they going to be able to pick that one up, but they also get a kill for their troubles.
Yeah. Solari falling. The Enchantress without Untouchable early. A much harder time dealing with that early aggression.
And you can see now that she's dead. She's bought up those infused raindrops, just tired of dying to the constant harass coming out from this Luna.
And serving as a little bit of a courier for Shad, bringing him his finished magic wand since he no longer has his own courier. And it looks like another Earth Spirit rotation towards middle. Puck not level 6 yet. And Illusion not making up his mind. He's patrolling the Radiant Jungle.
Yeah, it's nighttime, so you don't have full vision of what the puck is seeing. Maybe originally just trying to see with his movements how he was going to react, because they did have this observer ward here that would have spotted him out as he made that rotation towards the mid lane. They're able to secure both power runes though. It's spawned on the bottom side and it's that double damage, so pretty value.
Yep, the orb has been used on Boom. It's got the little jump away with the silence, but taking so much damage. That orb of venom on Illusion, making sure Puck is slowed, and a nice little giving that kill to 19 Teen, and he can early ultimate point. Once again, it's unusual to see every game, but this is a nice time to take advantage of it and push in the tower.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got 1.5 levels now that 19 is ahead of this Puck. Not even hitting up onto that level 6, doing a good job of tanking up a couple of these tower hits, making sure the siege creep survives the entire way, and well, the last hit goes the way of Illusion, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. He's definitely done his job to secure this mid lane for DP, so he's not going to bother all too much.
Illusion sitting close to level 4, so not really paying much for this tri-lane. Because he's gotten these kills and been close to them, he's doing okay on experience. And the rotations, 19 is now, he's coming bottom. This is 4 heroes, 4 unique. Catching Solari with the slow to start things off. Not quite able to get anyone yet, though. Now there's a roll on to Aramis with a Spirit Siphon from 19. Aramis able to walk out, and with Viking all under their tower, it's hard for Unique to really do too much here.
It is. I mean, it feels like that rotation didn't do all too much of anything, maybe just expecting the fact that, well, while the lane is pushed up towards the tier 2, may as well try and make something happen on the bottom side. Good defensive play coming through from Viking to make sure that didn't happen. And I want to see, how's this top lane been going as well?
Well, now we have a fight in the bottom lane, though, with lift up onto Vanguard, getting stunned by the Enchantress's Centaur. Uses the Fairy Fires out of mana for any more of that Voodoo Restoration.
So it's not like game 1 where you had it.
Oh, and now we have a coil onto Earthshaker and Death Prophet. Boom is here to fight Earthshaker to fall. Aramis getting hit here a little bit by Draxio, and the Luna charging forward wants more kills. Enchantress doing a lot of damage to 19 teams, staying alive with the Spirit Siphon, but it's not enough. With is it? Yes, yeah, 19 falling there to Solari.
Yeah, I mean, paying for that with his life, diving a little bit too deep just for a position 4 Rubik. I I mean, maybe just estimating the fact that he's had such a great game. He was sitting at nearly level 8 at the time and thinking, oh, this Luna's going to be there as well. Nope, was level 5.5, so didn't have the potential to turn around with the Eclipse in that team fight.
Yeah, and now while we were watching bottom, Mars did die here up top. Pop over to net worth. Mars actually doing okay.
Yeah, before that death, he was sitting in second, I believe, so he was having an alright time, but again, these rotations coming through from Illusion, not only securing a couple of kills onto that mid lane, but
And
now affecting top as well.
Aramis in trouble top. There's the ultimate from Death Prophet, just fully securing this kill, and then they want to transition it into a team fight, but the arena comes out. Enchantress is here to help with the fight. Tobing trying to do what he can. He's pretty low. He gets X back, continuing to take a lot of damage, but boom, throwing out so much with the puck coil, holding people in place. Illusion getting very low now. He's going to fight up on Celery. Celery stays alive for a little bit, but now 19 team to fall with the Shad rotation.
Yeah. Nice clean up there. Shad getting a lot of the experience from that as well. He's hit up onto his level 6. Maybe just tanking a few unnecessary tower hits on the Earth Spirit, making him not be that frontliner that you need to pay attention to while the Death Prophet's up. And you could see as soon as he got dropped, it was just all hands on deck and just spam all the attention onto the DP.
And that is an unfortunate halt to Unique's momentum. They have to wait for the DP ult to be back up. They did not get the tower. And that was really 2 fights in a row where they dived maybe a little too aggressively, giving Viking a good foothold back into the game.
Yeah, I didn't mind the initial rotation. You know, they got the kill, they popped the DP ulti while your creep wave was pushed underneath the tier 1 tower, so it's worthwhile if you want to get the maximum effectiveness out of it. But yeah, just overstaying their welcome a little bit too much, especially while they have this observer ward on the tower next to the tower, so you know exactly, on the cliff next to the tower, so you know that there were TPs coming through.
Well, have to see what moves are chosen to make yet next. I think Boom just had a DD run out, and what's he got coming on the courier? All right, it's just treads, so nothing too exciting yet. And Luna with the Helm of the Dominator finished. Looks like they want to be aggressive here. Bottom Illusion rolling in. Aramis found in the trees. He is pretty low. No support coming in from his team. They will pick him off and potentially get a free tower. And meanwhile, Vanscore, he's TPing out. Will Toby find him in time? Nope. He chooses to use the Rebuke before the Spear.
I would say both teams are relatively happy with this, able to take out the tier 1 tower of the opposing safe lane. Opens up the Ancients here for our Luna. Perhaps might get stacked up by the supports on the bottom side, and on top, Roshan don't really have the strongest lineup, but you're able to make a lot more plays happen around a riskier side of the map for Unique. Man, Aramis, he is playing with fire here.
Yeah, he's gonna dove under this tower once again. Well, and they choose to back up now, seeing the 2 TPs coming in. So they got what they want across the map, and now there's a coil to hold back. Unique. Boom says, no, I'm not dealing with this. You will not chase me. Choosing to pop the coil, which is not that long of a cooldown. So what is it, 70 seconds? Yeah, that's not so bad.
He's not going to be stressing all too much about that. They've got the Earth Spirit in position again, trying to go for the roll through. Oh.
He gets the slow up. There's an orb, and he's silenced by 19, and he's going to dodge a little bit, but puck does fall there. That's a little more distressing.
Yeah. They get the kill onto the Witch Doctor, who wisely draws out on the map where exactly the vision is right now on Viking GG. They weren't able to get rid of this observer ward on the high ground, but I think the attention that was placed onto the bottom side, allowing that kill onto the puck, is going to be well worth it. I was talking before about the potential for the outplays having to happen on this puck to really enable the draft on Viking. It has to be said, there's been a few misplays happen so far, and so it's going to be tough for him. He's sitting down in 6th position on net worth, even behind your offlane Mars.
Yeah, which feels a lot like what happened to Viking last game, where one of their cores was unable to farm, but now there was a kill down bottom, and they're trying to turn things around onto Illusion. That coil has been dropped here by Boom. And Shad picking up the kill. His defusal is flying out to him right now.
Okay, so that's really important. At least now he's going to be able to take some sort of team fight, because it felt like he was hitting them with a wet noodle last time with the Luna, only with the Dragon Lance and Helm of the Dominator. You know, it's great to have a Helm early on, but it's much more of a support item, as we can see with the Enchantress. Sorry, no, not the Enchantress. It is built up again on the Luna this time, but not going necessarily for that Dragonlance, going for the early BKB, realizing that, you know, you can walk through the Mars ultimate, you can avoid the Rubik, a lot of the aggression coming through there. Basically, the only thing you can't is this puck.
And Luna, this game, is having a lot of space to farm. Unique is being active with his other heroes. Yeah, they've got 3 on him right now. Kunkka's tanky, but not enough. And another kill here for Shad. Making sure that this time around, Vikings carry actually has farm.
Ambitious TP coming from our good friend BZZ. Just popping it while in the middle of 4 heroes, so don't know how many times that's going to work, but you live, you learn. Up top here onto Toby.
Yeah, action everywhere with Arena dropped, and Toby is now silenced, trying to run out. He gets a little bit of breathing room. He has a salve to pop if he can tank up through the Earth Spirit ultimate. And he'll use it a little bit, but man, salve heals so slowly now. It's pretty hard to use it to survive.
I wonder if he would have lived if he stayed underneath that tower, just with that tiny bit of extra regen that it would have provided to him.
He probably would have gotten hit again by the Earth Spirit.
True. Well, even though they're on the dire side and they've lost their tier 1 tower, they're still happy to take this Roshan attempt here. That bottom tier 1 tower doesn't really do all too much for Vikings, so they're happy to give it up on Unique side. They will keep the Kunkka here just to quickly cleave it out, but yeah, very happy to take this sort of trade. You've got the Mars coming through, but no Arena of Blood.
And Viking have no vision around this pit. So they'll throw in the spear from Toby, but it's just a little bit too late. They don't see anything, and now he's losing a lot of HP very quickly. Silenced up the Witch Doctor ultimate, making sure he is finished off. Aramis very low, tanking a full Death Prophet ult. Viking lose 2 here at the start. And they're just gonna have to disengage and probably give up this tier 1.
Yeah, perfect team fight coming out there. Oh,
and they're
actually
choosing
going in
to
on
go
Shad
in.
here.
So 19, pretty low. Shad doing a lot of damage, but now he's stunned up by the Witch Doctor. He's silenced. They're going to lose Shad.
Man, that is keen. That is the only word that I could use for that, because you don't have 2 of your heroes, and they've just picked up an Aegis on Unique. You know, I can understand if the Mars was just TPing into that, but even if he was resurrected, he still had 20-30 seconds left on his Scroll of Town Portal.
And it's just a tier 1. You're going to use your Fortify, and you're going to get a second Fortify. So that seemed like an interesting choice to make.
Yeah, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure they secured it. You've got Jiracho. I'm liking this. He's going to the neutral camp, realizing that you don't need him to take that tower now that the PL, the biggest threat by far on Viking, has been taken out of the equation. And just as that 17-minute mark comes up, he's going to have the potential for some of these neutral items. Not getting too lucky, though.
And Solari going for the Glimmer Plate on Enchantress. So similar to what we saw last game from Unique. And Vampire Fangs found by Luna. Will not pick them up,
Philosopher's
though.
Stone.
I call it Money Rock.
Money Rock, yeah. Oh,
And a
they're rolling in deep again.
Yeah, and a kickback on Aramis. Aramis really struggling this game. Having a hard time staying alive. He seems to... It's either Unique or in the right place, or Aramis is really in the wrong place a lot this game.
I feel like I don't mind where he was positioned behind those towers. He was just trying to delay this style as much as he could. I mean, they went the exact same draft last time, so it's clear that they know what Unique is trying to do. They're just executing it a whole lot better.
And Unique with this smoke, getting down some deep wards. Witch Doctor getting that D ward right before the ward runs out. you ever gone for a D ward and the ward expires at that moment so you don't get your gold?
Way too many times.
Yeah, that is one of the saddest moments in Dota right now.
Mm-hmm. And 19 with a full efficiency, realizing that the tower was going to take his last hit on the range creep and use the Yule Scepter on it just for that little bit of extra damage.
And there's a Witch Doctor ultimate coming out, taking out the Enchantress. So Unique with that smoke, deep wards. Viking knew they were there, and then I guess they just stuck around long enough that Viking thought they would have left by then. And how are we doing items on Shad? He has the Yasha looking to go for that Manta, but he's going to need at least another 1.5 to 2 minutes to finish it off.
I'd say even potentially more than that. I mean, the bounty runes could be a big help to be able to pick it up, but they're losing map control rapidly. I want to see, do they have any sort of wards up right now on Aramis? No, they don't. Right now, it's the Enchantress that has it all, and he's in the mid lane, so really the only vision they have is in both of the tri-camp areas, and this one on the dire side of the map isn't really doing too much of anything. You can see all of the aggressive wards that Unique have placed. It fits perfectly to the objectives that they're trying to take, but it seems a little bit aimless to get down some sort of vision. I suppose just trying to get something out of the map, you know, get something that's not going to be dewarded.
Yeah, and now they are threatening high ground right at the 20-minute mark they've got the Death Prophet ultimate. Kunkka X'd her so she could TP back home and refill her bottle. They've got some nice regen there on their heroes. The creep wave coming in. And do they have what they need to hold them back?
She picked up the BKB as well, so she would be able to be a bit more fighting fit. They've done a good job at pressuring this back a little bit. Maybe they're just saying, okay, well, we tried, didn't work out all too well. We at least pressured back Shad so that he now has to stay and defend a little bit more than he might like, take some of the safer farm on the map, which is not what you want to be doing if you're in a losing position.
And Shad was doing well on the net worth charts. He was ahead of everyone for a while, and now it's even with both Death Prophet and Luna catching up to him.
Mm-hmm. Some good team play here from Unique. You've got the Illusion Rune bottled by the Luna, given to him by the DP, just using it to maximize his farm as well. So Puck doing exactly what he needs to, pushing out this wave as much as possible, forcing these rotations back, but the fact that you don't have to commit an actual hero to it is a big win right now for Unique.
And you also have the option for Kunkka to X himself, TP. Once again, he's caught. This poor Rubik is going to fall. It's just got too many heroes taking him down. I haven't seen a huge impact from the Rubik yet, but we haven't really seen many team fights for, I don't know, it feels like about 10 minutes or so since the last time Viking had a full coordinated team fight.
I don't think we've seen a single Eclipse. It's all been pickoffs, and Jirachi has just been farming up the whole time.
Yeah, he's just had so much space this game with the power that Kunkka Death Prophet has.
Could they catch Shad here? He's running for his life into the trees, TPing down towards the bottom side. So just playing a little bit of musical chairs here, trying to avoid the gank squad coming through from Unique.
And Boom hiding in the trees on the top lane, just waiting for Unique to reveal themselves. Viking can't really see any of them on the map now, but they've caught out Toby, taking a lot of damage, silenced by the Death Prophet, and Luna taking the last hit. So Mars dead for 40 seconds. And Viking just continuing to delay the game. Another catch onto Aramis down here. He's trying to TP away. He gets stunned and torrented, and the cast continuing to bounce. Aramis will fall once again. Is it?
Poor guy. Gets picked off one more time. At least this time around, Shad, he's been able to finish up his Manta style, which is going to have a great level of effectiveness against the multiple silences coming through from Unique. It does give the casks another couple of things to bounce to, though, which is a little bit of a concern, and he really wants to reach that level 15 as well for, you would think, the plus 200 health, just being a little bit more tanky, considering they are playing from behind.
He has. We've seen the silence kill him in at least one fight, if not two. So, as you said, it'll make it a little easier for him to survive. We're going to have yet another minigame that we cannot play. This one you can kind of play, though. I can find Shadow Demon. Somebody else also immediately found.
Shadow Demon, Pango, and Slark.
Yes. So there's the Slark. Oh. I always have the toughest time.
I found Shadow Demon.
I found Pango.
Alright, next set of heroes. This is going to be a race.
Okay. It's going to have to be the honor system to see who can
let's bet one rare on it.
One rare.
Yeah, Snapfire. Alright, found her. Bottom, middle-ish. Grimstroke. Top right, and Invoker.
Oh man, you're going to beat me here. You're already up two.
Yeah, this is actually the one time that I've actually had a decent time to do it.
I'm having like my worst time. I'm not good under pressure. Oh, you got all three of them. You're so much faster than these pro players too. Jeez.
I know, I mean, well, the Witch Doctor seems like he's the only one really taking part in this.
Oh, he just guessed wrong, so he lost a point.
Ugh. And how do you guess wrong?
I think he accidentally clicked.
Click PA?
Yeah, but the Invoker's right next to it, so why isn't he beating it?
Just doesn't have that flick potential. He hasn't been playing enough CS or FPSs.
Well, I guess he can't switch over to Valorant, which apparently is the cool thing to do these days.
We don't actually have servers down here in Australia yet, which I'm a little bit tilted about. Like, I want to give it a try. You know, I'm probably not going to play it. That's the thing about Dota players, right? These new games come out, whether they be multiplayer or single player, and all the other top titles, they take a hit in terms of players, at least for a week or two. Dota stays exactly the same because Dota players play Dota. That is it.
Well, it's you can't just walk away cold turkey. You have to be convinced and enticed little by little, and when there's a new big thing that launches every couple of weeks, you know, there's no consistent effort to pull you away. FPS players, they're not very loyal. They switch games at the moment a new one hits the shelf, unless it's Crucible, and then they try to switch and it fails so miserably that they can't.
Have you played much of that?
Crucible? No, I haven't touched it. And I
gave it one game and I was like, I think again I was playing on probably US West from Australia, so like 200 MS, which is not very playable in a FPS, it has to be said.
Yeah, I got a Valorant drop. I think it only took me about 4 hours of watching a stream before I got one.
Just idle, you know, easy.
Yeah, it was. And then I haven't played it at all because streaming uses so much extra software, like all these special things. And because of the anti-cheat messing with some different software, like there's some stuff that a friend of mine wrote that I use that I'm sure only 5 people use that isn't on any exception list. And I don't want the anti-cheat to mess with anything.
Right.
Because then it would mess with my Dota experience, and nothing, we cannot have that. You know, Dota above all must be protected. So I haven't actually installed it or played it, even though I've been sitting on a beta key for a while now.
You're doing the right thing.
Priorities. All right.
Have you been playing anything while we've been in isolation as well with people online, like some other little games?
I did get Animal Crossing. I hate Animal Crossing. I begrudgingly play it. But I don't understand why I paid money to avoid doing chores so that I could do electronic chores.
There's, you know, cute little villages, you know?
I do not find them cute. I find them annoying. Actually, it turns out if you fence them in a small space so that they leave you alone, they get mad at each other and they start fighting, and then they come whining to you about their fights. So my plan right now is to create... I've put all of their houses in one place. I'm going to fence it all in and leave them on this little section of the island so I don't have to deal with them. And I want to see how long until they rage quit and move off the island. So I'm just going to turn it into like a little social experiment.
That sounds like the Sims level gameplay where you just put everyone in a pool and then remove the ladder. You know?
Yeah, that's about right. So that's how I make it fun, because otherwise I hate that game. But it's good for meetings. When I'm sitting in meetings and I don't really have to be there, except to.
But you should.
Yeah, it's sort of like you have to say one thing 30 minutes in, so you're sort of just there, and you can't really do anything else that takes brain power. So I have the wireless headset, and I just do laps around my apartment, get those steps in, unmute the microphone to say my one thing, and then just play Animal Crossing on my Switch while I do laps.
That's classic WoW for me. Very little brain requirements in that one.
That is, I played it for about 2 years ago. Was the first time I played for a couple of months.
My thanks will come later.
And I basically, it was with a couple of friends who had been playing their whole lives, and there was some new expansion coming out, so they were leveling up new characters. And so I pretty much clicked follow on them.
Ooh.
And that was it. Yeah, no, he doesn't have a button to reconnect.
Change the topic, but that's a pretty big deal considering they are in a winning position right now. I mean, what can you really do in this position? I'm sure there's something in the rule set. We are not admins, we are just people with voices.
Mm-hmm.
Toby, we're ready to go.
He's like, we're good to go. Can you do remakes anymore? I know that Reborn changed a lot of things. It's been a long time since we've been able to remake.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
I mean, you should. I don't think it's worth GGing out. They're still in a winning position, and you might be able to actually play 4v5 and maybe micro it a little bit. You just might need to go for the all or nothing sort of play, right? Just try and push an end.
Yeah, and honestly, they've been playing without the Luna a lot and been very successful. So they could kind of just leave the Luna behind them and go for the fight, and then use her for pushing, like a really well farmed creep.
Just put it on the other side of the map and be like, yeah, go ahead, go do your thing.
Well, no, I was thinking you leave it like a tower length behind you. Like you're pushing the tier 3, and you sort of just leave her back where kind of the tier 2 is, and start the team fight, and then click her in halfway through the team fight, hit Eclipse, and then hope that you win, because they'll have used a lot of their spells because you've started the fight. So then you can kind of just, wait for one of your supports to die. Then they can take her over and come in and do cleanup crew. And hopefully they don't have as many spells to kill the Luna with after the fact. And then if you win the fight, you can use her to push.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in the last game, though, they did have the Enchantress and, of course, having a creep there. So maybe just giving it to their most micro-friendly player on their team, and just create a control group, shift between the two, pop Eclipse in the middle of the team fight. It's just like a souped up creep that you've been able to convert.
Yeah, it's a really big, well farmed creep.
And just get with the Helm of the Dominator, just get something with a passive or like an Alpha Wolf or something like that.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. We're sitting here, we're talking about Dota and saying that Unique are in such a strong position that they could possibly still win 4v5.
Oh yeah.
It is.
I mean, that's the thing. If you're having a look at the net worth graph, right? It's PL well ahead of anyone else on his team. Mars feels like pretty much a non-factor. He's gone the Vlad's first before picking up any sort of blink, before a BKB. So he just wants to be able to enable his PL as much as possible, which I think this order of things is fine based off how the game has gone now. But in an ideal world, he would have wanted to pick up a blink a lot sooner.
This is an unfortunate bug. I think the admins are going to take a moment to check and see what they can do.
Such simple minds. We come for you.
It certainly wouldn't be fair to restart the entire game.
Yeah. Tarantula
Overboard. Yeah, man overboard. Can casters still pause the game?
I'm not going to try.
Yeah, no, it's just, it used to be when you were in a lobby as a caster, you could type, you could accidentally pause the game. I remember that being an issue every once in a while. So it would make a lot of sense if they patched that out so that casters couldn't do any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start testing some of my hotkeys because I don't know where the net worth graph is anymore. In order to see it, but I was like, I don't want to accidentally press the wrong thing, so
I can do it if you like and kind of describe it to you, do a little bit of charades or Pictionary or something.
Oh goodness. I mean, what is your button for showing the net worth graphs?
Mine is F6.
Such simple
Yeah, so is mine. Excellent. That worked.
And then F7 for me is XP, F8 is Dota Plus, and F9 is Unpause. So
Ooh, I almost hit F9 because you're like, and F9 is going to show this, and I'm like, nope. Nope, I almost got baited into that. I do not have the Dota Plus graph, but I have XP and net worth. With unique spending,
Dota Plus is 88% right now for unique.
that's pretty strong. They didn't manage to break the base in their last push. Not a ton of damage onto the tower, but a decent amount.
Have they both picked up all of their neutral items as well? They have. So getting some decent value out of those. It's going to be another few minutes until if the game even restarts, until the tier 3 ones come out. Maybe look to pick them up and then do Roche, which is probably going to be respawning around that time or just before.
So they can have 6 lives with only 4 heroes.
Potentially.
Which doctor? I'm just looking. Which doctor's very poor, but Enchantress really not doing too much better. It's unfortunate that Luna is their highest net worth hero. And that's who they're missing.
Yeah. Can't reconnect. Let's see what happens. He abandoned.
Is there an abandon button from a lobby?
Hope not.
So...
It's been a while since I played a captain's mode game. I've casted plenty, but...
Well, I imagine our controls would be the same as what they have.
Put me in unique, I'll play on 300.
I wonder, it would be an interesting situation. No pro player would ever want to do it, but if lobbies were coded that way, to have your coach in the lobby only with the vision that your team gets, or maybe without even any vision, like you're completely blind. And if someone DCs, if there's an issue, there's an option to assign it to someone in the lobby, so you could kind of have like an emergency backup sub in lobby at all times. Obviously no player wants to be the 6th person, so it would kind of have to be a coach.
Yeah, I suppose, does that disadvantage teams that just don't have a coach? Do they just have someone else sitting there? Does it need to be the same person every single time? I think it's a good idea in principle.
Yeah,
but...
there's so many complications to it. And right, does a coach want to sit in a lobby and not be able to see anything and not be able to watch the stream? Because then, you know, in order, just in case a player DCs, you don't want them to have that information. So, but then they can't help out their team afterwards. What pro player wants to sit in and be a sub? Does that mean tournaments just have tournament subs? Like, imagine that if you have a team that doesn't make it in the open qualifiers or something, and you say, you didn't quite make it, but the tournament sub team will pay the players like X amount. with all of these online tournaments, that's something to think about. Because you do have DCs and issues, so it would be cool if there was a substitute player solution.
I mean, if it's at a LAN tournament, then I'm sure you could potentially have the casters, for example, that aren't casting that game potentially as them, because they wouldn't really have any vested interest in either team. It's not giving away too many secrets or anything like that.
Well, and you've definitely seen coaches step in and played before. At Epicenter last year, No Tail was sick, so Saksha was Saska. Wrong one.
Sashka.
One of them. Yes, Sashka. Okay, I got it right the first time.
You just call him Socks. Socks is it's a lot easier.
He stepped in to play for No Tail. And so you see that happen a lot with coaches playing last minute if a player gets sick at a LAN. But at a LAN, like if there's a DC or an issue like that, usually you can address it. I mean, this is a case where the player cannot rejoin the lobby, so you would have to have, and because you can't do remix, you would have to have 6th accounts in the lobby ready to sub in. Which is complicated, and no pro player wants to do that.
He only has the button for leaving the game but not reconnecting.
What an odd bug.
Admins are going to have to make a decision, unfortunately, at some point, and it sucks to be put in that position, but that's what they're around for.
Ultimately, it would just have to be that the game plays. Hopefully it wouldn't be a forfeit to Unique, right? They would still be able to play with 4 heroes.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you can always have the choice to play if they want to, and they might go, like we were saying before, for that all-out push, trying to press their advantage now. I mean, how close are they to being able to have that last key item timing that they need? I think, are these couriers coming out to them, or are they leaving? Yeah, we've got a Vlad's, I believe, coming out right now, which is going on to, what, the Kunkka?
This new courier system might be great for supports and great for pub play, but for casting, it's miserable.
Whose courier is what?
And you have to jump all over the place to find them.
All right, so the red panda is BZZ's, or is that a raccoon?
Oh, do you not have the little...
The
I have the little hero icon next to the courier,
true.
So you know whose it is.
I just saw it.
It's just, well, if you're looking at the mini map, you're like, oh, I want to see what Death Prophet has. You have to check every single courier and then jump all over the place. And then the observer makes everybody sick with the, the roller coaster jumping around to look at couriers.
Just a nice smooth drag. That's all you need.
And I have that on, and it's still, I imagine, disorienting to jump around enough to check all the couriers. So you usually just resign yourself to not knowing what's happening. Well, seeing as how we're going to continue to wait, what are your quarantine games other than Crucible?
Crucible, I when it came out, I played Animal Crossing for like a week, I want to say. And that was enough for me. It gave me that nostalgia thing that I wanted. I visited a few friends, considering I'm Southern Hemisphere and a lot of my friends are Northern Hemisphere. We were able to visit each other's islands, which was pretty cool. Get some unique bugs and fish and all that sort of thing.
I was gonna say, did you have people visiting you for some shark fishing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Some great whites, some hammerheads, all that. What else have we played? A little bit of Jackbox, which is always good. Some tabletop simulator, some code names, Secret Hitler, Settlers of Catan, all those sorts of things. So
all of the ways to destroy friendships. Got it.
Yes. And Pummel Party as well, which is basically like the PC Mario Party. So just friendship destroying all across the board. But luckily here in Australia, as of Monday, I believe, they're relaxing the restrictions even further a little bit. So I think you can go to gatherings of up to 20 people, I believe. So with understanding social distancing and all that sort of stuff. But hopefully that means some of my favorite places are going to slowly open up again. I can go out and get some ice cream, which is, I've been missing it. I need it.
Ice cream is very high on my priority list for sure.
Mm-hmm. Because it's quite warm up there, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the entire United States is just like, hello, welcome to summer, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, what's the? And I'm gonna test you here. According to the rest of the world, Celsius is the way to go. So, what degrees Celsius was it today?
Oh gosh, well, considering that I haven't been outside at all and woke up and immediately started casting, I would imagine it's mid-20s, if not high 20s.
Okay, very good, very good. Whenever I hear like 90, I'm like, what is that? What's going on?
Well, my training is biochemistry, so I went to grad school for that. I had a decade of the metric system, and so that is how I prefer. What degrees
Kelvin is it?
290 something.
Okay, pretty good.
Because Kelvin is just, what is this, like 273 plus whatever Celsius is? I think that's the conversion. I have been out of grad school for 2 years. I've been free, so I haven't touched any of that for quite some time.
This is one of those things where as soon as you've passed that exam, it's just like, just push it out of my brain. I don't need that anymore. I
still love it. I still have discussions about quantum mechanics and, you know, the way electrons behave and doing different partial derivatives and I still love that, and that still happens. And I remember all of my research with hormones and stress response and protein folding and drug design, and I remember it all, but the nitty-gritty details, honestly, once you're not like grad school, you're not in classes, you're not taking tests anymore. You're just doing research all the time. And when you are no longer in written tests, everybody just Googles it. No one expects you to memorize anything like that. Like if you use it every single day, yeah, you know specific numbers and formulas for your very, very small subset of research. But other than that, all of your professors, academics, everyone, they're just like, oh yeah, let me just Google that. Like normal people.
Yeah, I mean, when you're out in the real world, you have that option. You know, it's not like a life or death situation, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's it. Memorization in chemistry, memorization in a lot of things is not particularly useful. Doctors look up stuff all the time. The reason the doctors take 30 minutes to walk in and talk to you is because the nurses come in, taken all of your symptoms, checked all your vitals, and the doctor is sitting there Googling it. A lot of times. I mean, not like that general, but a lot of times they're like, oh, they're here for this. These are some of the complications. I'm going to refamiliarize myself with this condition or this situation. And it's the same thing for scientists. If they're doing a specific research and they have an issue, you don't just run an experiment because you think it's good. You spend like 2 weeks looking up every single slightly similar scenario in research papers. You look up how someone did this experiment. You're testing out different things. You don't memorize, oh, when this specific scenario happens, I know that I have to titrate with this reagent and check this, and this is the formula I need. Nobody knows that. You just look it up.
Oh man, it is way too late here for that sort of information to try entering my brain.
I had someone ask me recently. They said, if you ever want to get back into science, they have a lab in Colorado or Canada, or I don't remember where, California or something with a C. I clearly was not that invested. And I was just like, never again. I will never again step into a lab. Thank you. I love science. It's fascinating, but no.
Yeah, it has to be something with people, that's the thing for me. I never wanted to be stuck, because I got a master's in genetics, but I don't want to be in a lab pipetting things constantly, So what I did initially was I went into genetic counseling, which is like speaking with people who, unfortunately, due to their genetics or potentially they're trying to figure it out, have something that they were born with or something that there's a bit of a late onset development, that you can then give them information and talk to them and kind of work it out with them. So it's pretty interesting, and I think undervalued a lot of the time, but I think especially with technology improving, that's it's going to become a whole lot more prevalent, and then there's all this ethics mumbo jumbo that comes along with it too.
Yep, no, that's a big one. My plan was biotech consulting, investor securing. I wanted to be the person. Scientists oftentimes esoteric, bad at explaining things, not particularly good at interacting with the general population and communicating particularly well. I've always thought that science journalism is very lacking and far too clickbaity. The amount of next cure for cancer articles that I saw, I always...
No, none of that.
Yeah.
None of that. And then the people are like, oh, amazing. They share it straight away. It's like, have you read the article? Have you seen what it says?
Yeah, and every time that I look at, like a New York Times science section, some of them are good, but a lot of them get sensationalized. And then I'll go look up the original article and it'll be like, well, in this mouse model, they saw a 1% decrease after hitting it with 5,000 times the recommended dose. And I'm just like, well, no, that is not a cure for breast cancer, but thank you for wasting 2 hours of my time. So that's, yeah. So I wanted to be that bridge that helped humanize science, helped justify it.
Default loss is what the admin is saying. I'm sure if they wanted to, I'm sure Unique would say, can we try playing 4v5? Because they've still got a chance, in my opinion. Like, you should give it a good go, I think.
But I wonder if, can we play 4v5? I wonder if, because amount of pause time is used, if there's a rule with that.
But that's not really on them,
Yeah.
Like...
Because you had to wait for the admin ruling.
We will see.
Well, meanwhile, everyone's getting a lovely science lesson on the way things work. So that's exciting. Because science is great. So the score would be 1-1.
Well, not even letting him play 4v5. The admin has spoken.
What?
Oh,
yeah.
Let's go. They're asking again, can we play 4v5?
The lobby will be up shortly. Okay.
Just straight ignoring. Oh.
No, we don't allow 4v5. That is...
All right, that's the ruling. They got to agree with it. So Viking take this game in controversial fashion, it has to be said. And, well, don't DC is the moral of the story here. Maybe they're just trying to wait it out until all of Viking DC, and then they're like, okay, unpause it now, so it goes to us as the win. But no.
Yeah, that one won't quite count.
We'll have to see how it goes.
All right, well, I guess we are going to throw you guys to a break, and we will be back with Game 3. I'm sure that lobby will get going fairly quickly, so don't go anywhere, and we'll have to see if Unique can claim this series or if Viking will turn things around in Game 3.